Hello. We are live, people. Welcome back.
Is it cold over there?
It is cold.
Damn.
It is cold. I don't want the heater going because it blows cold air on me, so I'm not worried about it. So my hoodie will do me just fine. Thank you. As Nutty gets up to turn the heater on. Welcome back, people. I do have to make a very quick apology about no show last week. I was not feeling the best, and I had basically had gone for sleep and slept in, and then just really didn't want to face anybody or anything at the time, and so I thought best not to stream rather than get on stream and have and bring everyone down with my mood. So it was just safer not to stream. But I do apologize about the no show last week. But we're back on track for this week. As you can all see, we're here. Mr. Picker, resub. 8 months. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We've had a whole bunch. We had a couple of new subs, or a whole bunch of new subs this week. Yanti gifted a whole bunch of subs the other day, which is really awesome. So just to let everyone know, we have a brand new emote as well. We have a natural one emote, which I just swapped out the GG emote from when we were gaming a lot. Now that we're doing a lot of D&D, we now have a natural 1 emote and a natural 20 emote. So when a natural 1 is rolled, subs, spam the chat with natural 1s, natural 20s. Even if you have your own emotes, I know Lost Chapter has their natural 20s, natural 1s, spam that stuff. If you're not a sub, don't fret. You can still use an emote. You can use your channel points to unlock an emote, which I think it's like 900 channel points or something like that. You can unlock that emote and spam it along with the rest of the chat. So just be aware, if we get a natural 1 or a natural 20, let's see some emotes in the chat. Pretty much that's it. There's the other announcement is obviously the Curse of Strahd campaign. We had session 0 last week. This week just been. We went into session 1. It went very, very well. Our 2 brand new players did exceptionally well with the role play and their first taste at combat. The VOD is available on my YouTube. So that is youtube.com/Evldoa. We got our custom URL, which is really awesome. Makes it so much easier for us to find, for you guys to find us now. Go check it out. All the VODs for Paradigm Bold are there in a separate playlist. The Curse of Strahd is in a separate playlist also. Check out those VODs. Comment, like, and subscribe. All those things. Share it if you can. Make sure you hit the like button. The more likes we get, the more chances we do of having other people find us. So even if you just watching it, you don't want to comment or share it, that's fine. Just hit that like button. Just a thumbs up, just to give us a bit of discoverability. But apart from that, I think we're good. Everyone in the chat and in our players, we're all struggling through lockdown. Tomorrow we should find out here in New Zealand whether we will get back to some form of normality with level 2, hopefully. So it's looking pretty positive at this stage. Yes, Nutty may not be talking too much tonight. She has been diagnosed with, what is it, TMJ? Which is her jaw dislocated recently. And she's in a bit of pain.
There's only one way you do that.
I say nothing. I know nothing. Oh, yes, dice. Speaking of dice. Guys, if you are subbed to D&D Beyond right now, I'll use Alessandra's battle sheet here. If I can bring up, where is it? There it is. If I bring up this little thing here, if you are subbed to D&D Beyond, the dice roller is now in alpha. You go to your character sheet and you see where your modifiers are. You now see a blue box which you can click on. We're going to click on the initiative here, and it rolls a little virtual dice, adds it, and calculates your modifiers, and you are good to go. So you don't have to have physical dice now to use D&D Beyond. You can use virtual dice. I know there are lots of people out there that don't like using virtual dice, Mr. Pegger. But
I don't mind it. It rolls fair.
And as I'm just about to point out that I've done some pretty vigorous testing with this since they put it into alpha, on my own character sheets and been doing some test rolls and stuff, and it is fairly consistent. Range of natural 1s, natural 20s, mid-range rolls, slow rolls, high rolls. It's pretty good. I would expect, being an alpha, there's going to be some bugs, of course, but it does look pretty good, and it works really well. I mean, the only thing that, obviously, things like features and traits, if you get to re-roll 1s, you have to just re-roll that dice. Like, there's no way of rolling. Like, for me as a warlock, on my other character, I get to roll 2 Eldritch Blasts, so I can't just go, okay, I want to roll 2 d20s. I've actually got to click it twice to roll 2, which is not a big issue. Same
And
with the
fire
damage.
And the extra damage weapons do.
That's stuff you have to calculate yourself. So, for example, if you have a custom weapon, i.e. the Flame Tongue Rapier, which is here, you do get an extra 2d6 fire damage. So that's something you'd have to re-roll yourself. So unless they're going to add a manual dice roller, so you can just literally roll a d6 for whatever, it's completely up to you. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with that.
On my one, down the bottom on the left-hand side, there's actually a little dice that you can click on.
Is it?
Which will allow you to roll.
Oh, there is too.
Normal.
I didn't even see that. Thank you very much. Well, there you go then. You guys can't see it on screen because for some reason it's not showing on screen because it's right at the bottom of the page. But over here, it's off the screen. Hang on, let's see if we can move this window.
Mr. Packer?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Reduce the size of that window just a little.
So you click on the dice to how many you want, then you click on the D whatever.
So if you want to roll a d6, you click it, each one. I've been able to click that d6 twice and then click roll, and it rolls 2d6. That is awesome. I didn't even notice that. Thank you for pointing that out. I hadn't actually. And they've got the D100 there as well, which is awesome, which is 2d10. So I just rolled 70. Hey, nay. Right. So without further ado, we should get the ball rolling for this week's episode. We've got to get through our recap and get things started. I haven't turned on my other Discord. I'm slack. Professional streamer and DM here, guys. Just take no notice of me. A couple of seconds here. And the audio's made it into the channel. Yeah, I've been a useless housewife this month too. Nutty's been off work, so I've not been doing a whole lot. So I left it all up to her. Back to routine though. I'll be doing everything again next week, so that's all good. Right. After your battle with the large wolves and Sadiq moving the skins for potential sale or use, you investigate the den only to find it empty and of little use. You return to the wagon and journey towards Holland. Once there, you get a little closer, you leave the road, find some cover. Fiala transforms to a large eagle and scouts the town to find little movement around the outskirts, some movement in the town centre. Alessandros then stealths forward and for a closer look and has a conversation with a scared halfling man who informs him that the creatures are centered around the town center and have been taking shipments or supplies off to the east to possibly a caster to send somewhere else. After a bit of discussion about what you should do, whether to go deal with the caster or go deal with the town first, you decided that it was prudent to deal with the township first and headed for the town center. Once there, you entered into combat and found that the undead scourge that was rumored to have been in the township of Helond was not undead at all. It was bandits dressed as undead taking advantage of a given situation to potentially make some money, or could be working for Cass or even Asmodeus himself. With what was said from the bandit leader, it's assumed that they probably are working or in league with Cass Agnond. The battle ensued, and after some time you managed to defeat the foes. And this is where we rejoin our story and the Lions of Valon for episode 36, Follow the Supplies. So you guys are still in the town centre. You have defeated these bandits. I believe you'd also looted them as well. And you were now pretty much deciding whether it was prudent to maybe rest and stay the night and proceed after the supplies and this potential mage in the morning, or to go now. I believe the halfling man had offered you guys sanctuary for the evening. So what are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen?
Time of day or night? Not the point.
It is, what did we say? It was probably heading into late afternoon, early evening.
It thinks maybe resting would be a bad use of time. I don't know about how the rest of you are, but we were talking about a mage maybe being able to portal through more of these, well, at the time we assumed undead, but more of these creatures. What are your thoughts?
City Galley, do you need to rest, or are you good to go?
I'm not too bad, so yeah, I think we can go find out about this mage fella and see if we can catch ourselves a lift.
Also, probably get some healing before we head off, just so we're at full strength.
And
Healing can be done.
as you
who's in
were
need of healing?
Yeah, as you're sort of discussing the healing and stuff, the little halfling man that you spoke to, Trash, he sort of tugs. He was standing sort of near you and tugs on the back of your jacket, or the back of your cloak. Excuse me, you talking about healing? I might be able to help you with that.
Sure. What can you help us with?
And he says, "Can I get everyone?" Anyone that needs healing, can I get you all just to stand like pretty close together, just like 10 or 15 feet or something? Just sort of stand in a group there for a moment.
Standing?
Okay.
And
Standing.
as you sort of move together and sort of group up, you watch him. He raises his hands, puts his head down, and he starts muttering under his breath, and you watch his hands glow. And he casts Mass Healing Word. And give me 1 second. And he's going to cast that at 5th level. So that will be using the D&D Beyond dice roller. 4d4 plus 6. That'll be 11 points of healing to everybody.
Thank you.
You are
Yes,
full of
agreed.
surprises,
Thank
aren't
you.
you?
Perfect. That's exactly what I needed.
And he sort of, as he finishes the spell and raises his head back up and clasps his hands together, so it's the least I could do. You guys have saved our town from these things, these beasts, and he sort of walks over to one of the corpses and kicks it as he sort of moves back to the rest of the township. There's a bit of a group of people now that have gathered, and they're all sort of milling around, and you can hear them burbling and talking about the bandits and what's happened.
All right, I think we're good to go.
Yes, as long as you are all happy with your current state of damage and healing. If anyone needs any more, let me know.
I don't foresee the need quite yet, but I think we can.
Sadiq's plasma pill, how long? I've got 3 charges left. They're
When-
over time, aren't
When
they?
did you use that?
Yeah, 4 rounds.
It was 4 rounds of combat. So, did you use it during? You had 2 rounds during combat. So you would have had 2 rounds worth of heals
No,
left.
I haven't used them.
You haven't used them? Okay.
No.
It's a once per day thing too.
Well,
So
the last one that I used was definitely a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think each pill is a single use. It doesn't have a charge. You have one pill, and that's a single use.
It's saying 4 charges. 3 out of 4 charges.
yeah, it's 4 pills. That's why.
It's 4 pills. So each we just listed it as 1 pill, but when you get them, it's 4 pills.
Cool.
Sweet. So with that, what are we doing? Are we heading off to the east in search of so-called mage and this wagon of supplies that has been recently sent, probably in the last 30 or 40 minutes from what Alessandros was told?
Do you have any idea how far away this teleportation thing is?
Well, no, you haven't. No, you weren't given any indication of how far away it was. You could ask.
Ellie, you seem to be fluent with these guys.
Asking the half-elf, whatever his name is.
Halfling.
What was that?
Halfling.
Halfling, yeah, that. So, how often does this cart come and go? Rough time frame.
But the last wagon of supplies was sent about 40 minutes ago, heading to the east using the eastern road out of Hilland. I'm not entirely sure where it goes, but normally the wagon returns after about an hour or so. So I would assume it would probably only be a few hundred feet to the east, just off the road. I would imagine. No one's ever been out there. We're not allowed to go see where it goes. We've just heard rumors, these things chatting amongst themselves about a teleportation portal of sorts, where the wagon goes and they take the stuff through the portal and bring the wagon back, and we're forced to go out and work and bring more supplies.
And that cart left about 40 minutes ago?
It's about 40 minutes ago, so I would say that they're due to return in another 30 or so minutes, so they've probably already dropped that supply load off and are probably ready to return, or getting ready to return at least, or on their way back.
How many people are manning the cart?
Oh, they were just one guard and a couple of townsfolk to drive the cart, and a guard just to make sure they did what they were told. I believe he was human or looked human anyway. Not entirely sure.
You guys got any idea what I'm thinking or not?
You want us to hide
Eh.
in the cart and go in.
Yes.
Oh, I was kidding. But yeah.
We've got the little problem of the guard that we'd have to deal with first.
What kind of what kind of guards are they? What race?
Human, I believe, weren't they?
He said he looked human. Yeah.
If only we had someone that could disguise themselves as a guard.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be. I got no idea who that is.
Oh,
I think it's Head.
Well,
Head could do it.
Yeah, yeah.
there's two
hold
that
on
could
a
do it.
minute. Head just wants to double check something here. So we're going to hide in the cart and go through the teleporter. Is that what you are suggesting?
Or get to the teleporter and see what the situation is like first.
Yeah, because if someone dresses as a guard and the guard goes back and forth with the carts, when the cart or the equipment goes through, the guard would be left behind, splitting the party. I was just checking what you were thinking.
I could disguise self and be one of the guards.
If we're getting there to check it out, that is a good idea.
We also have a changeling that could be the guard.
Oh, of course. This is true.
We have elves. Oh no, that's a different
We have
conversation.
Yeah.
We also have a dragonborn and a half orc and more elves.
So racist. Why do you have to point that out?
So I reckon we wait for the cart to come back, jump the guard, seeing there's only meant to be one, and I suppose me shift into him, I guess, and then we head out. No? Don't like that idea?
Sounds exciting.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yes, good plan.
Let's relax then. For a little bit.
Right.
And we'll leave our cart here while we're doing all.
Your wagon's
Good
still
idea.
out on the outside of the town, in the trees. It's in a relatively safe area. Bash sort of speaks up at this point and goes, "I think that's a solid plan. I couldn't have planned it better myself."
I have my moments, okay?
I mean, I would have just liked to split your skull open, but you know.
Look, you can split his the guard's skull open when I have a look at his face and what he looks like, okay?
Oh, that sounds good, mate. I'm in for that.
Actually, I think
I could
Sadiq-
probably do it stealth-like too, you know. So like, sneak up behind him, bury the axe in his skull, and be good.
I think Sadiq make a valid point, though. He makes a valid point when he says we have our cart. When we are traveling off, 30 minutes to an hour away from here, leaving our cart unattended, maybe we should leave Bash with the cart to smash skulls of anyone who might try and take our cart, because we're going to need it in the future, right?
No, I think the townsfolk would probably be willing to look after the cart that we've just, liberated.
Yeah, well, you could
Go
ask
to
them.
town, they can look after the cart. That's what my idea was, so we can take Bash with us because he likes to split skulls, and it's always fun to have someone. That
Well,
does
I
that.
would like to come along. I mean, splitting skulls is what I do, and I'm pretty good at it.
Fair enough, just as long as our cart is safe.
Oh, right, Mr. Halfling, sir. Oi, you, little fella. Oh, what? Yeah, yes. What? Yes. Would you mind if we left our wagon? We got a wagon over in the trees over there. Would you mind looking after that while we go and take your cart and go down to wherever this mage portal thing is and kill the mage, close the portal, bring your cart and stuff back, and you look after our wagon. I think that's a fair trade, don't you? Well, yes, sure. And he turned. You get a sense that this halfling's actually probably well respected in the town, because he turns and sort of says to 2 or 3 others, "You guys want to go grab their cart or their wagon? Is it? Yeah, that's right. There's a big wagon. It's over that way." And these guys just scuttle off, and probably 10 or 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, they bring your wagon with the horses into the town centre. And they take the horses, they hitch them at the livery, and the wagon's parked up and covered.
I like this guy.
So that other cart will be coming in soon, won't it?
Probably got from the time frame you're given, you've probably got another 10 or 15 minutes before you'd probably start to hear it coming, or even see it, depending on where you guys set yourselves up.
Well, we don't want him to get too down.
And at the moment, you've got
Probably
a large
outside of
gathering. At the moment, you've got a large gathering in the town centre of townspeople, a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah, we need to do this ambush probably before the town entrance type deal. So
Well, I agree,
Yeah,
Mr. Sadiq. I think we should do it at the town gates, because we don't want them seeing the bodies and stuff, because that'd be a dead giveaway, I think.
sorry, I forgot what the halfling's name was, but
He hasn't given anyone his name. No one's
I'm
asked.
going to turn to him and say, for one, what is your name? And 2, do you know of a good spot that would be able to ambush the cart before it arrived at the town itself?
Oh, sorry. I didn't introduce myself. Oh, how rude. My name is Froden. Frodan. Froden. And yeah, Froden Bagnon. Just remember that name, okay?
Oh my god.
Froden Bagnon. Yeah, okay. It's a weird name, I know, but out on the gate, the east gate. Sorry, the east gate. We don't really have gates and walls as such, but there's like a road that comes in from the east. There's like a giant sort of rock thing over there, and that would probably be the best place. I mean, you could probably hide in behind the rock and trees and jump the guard as they come in, because that's the road they'll be coming in.
Excellent. Thank you. Guys, let's go set up an ambush.
Off we go.
Excellent. Lead the way.
All right, let's do this. You townspeople, you might want to clean up these bodies, because they'll start to smell and attract the wolves and the gnolls and all manner of beasties. So we might be a while, but if you want something to do, you might want to take these bodies and pile them up somewhere and burn them or something. Sam Weezer Ganger. Wow.
It's terrible.
Where does he come up with this stuff?
I would have pronounced it Gounger, but nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
Gangrene.
probably would have been Sam Weezer Ginger, but either way. Would have been a redhead halfling. But yeah, with that, you guys move towards the eastern side of the town, and indeed you get to what would be the gate, which is just the road into town, and there is a large rock formation to one side of the road with some large bushes and trees, which both Sadiq and Bash sort of look at each other and sort of nod, and yeah, that's definitely the perfect place for an ambush. There is a few trees and a bit of cover on the left-hand side of the road as well, if you wanted to spread both sides of the road, but there's plenty of room on the one side for everybody.
Let's get him from both sides. Let's not put all our eggs in one basket.
I'm gonna get up the
Yeah.
top of this rock thing here. There's some bushes and stuff up there. I think that'd be a good place. I could definitely get like a jump on this dude. I could probably jump down, split his skull
Not
open
the face.
with my axe.
Not the face.
Not the face. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of splitting the skull, don't you think?
You can do it after I look at his face.
Well, you give me a signal then, right? Yeah, like what's the signal? You give me a signal and I'll split his skull once you've seen his face.
His face.
When you see Alessandros put an arrow through his face, you're allowed to split his face.
Oh,
Do you guys,
all right then. Whatever. As long as I get to kill him, I'm happy.
do you guys want me to lie on the road and put some guts or something on myself to look like I'm down and out while you all hide, and then they'll stop to see me, and then whammo, you get them.
That's actually a pretty good idea, Mr. Hit. That'll force him to stop. Won't it?
We could also get. Oh, wait a minute. We could get Het on the ground with guts and stuff coming out, and Fiala as a bear eating you.
That's
that-
actually a pretty good idea.
That sounds pretty neat. I likes it when the Miss Fiala changes into the furry animals because that's cool.
Well, I will follow along then.
So you guys
So-
set yourselves up?
Yep.
Yeah, Hit lays on the ground, goes through his bag and finds some bits and pieces to look like some guts and stuff and lays
Oh,
it on him.
Mr. Hit, I could help you with that. Hang on, I'll be a minute. And Bash takes off back towards the town, comes back with a handful of human entrails. And just,
Oh.
as you lie down, just dumps it on your stomach. Here you go, Mr. Hit. It's fresh and warm and still sticky. Got to make it look real, don't we?
I mean, that's perfect. Actually smells edible too.
It smells pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, you fry that stuff up, it's not bad.
I think that's the first time I've ever agreed with you. Okay, I'm lying down here.
And with that, Bash clambers up a little bit of a rocky outcrop and into the bushes at the top, axe ready.
Okay, Fiala, so you have to start like eating me now, right?
All right, you want a bear? Yeah?
Oh, no beaver this time.
You mean you want me to be a beaver, or you mean no beaver?
Oh no, I was just joking. Bear is good.
Got it. And now I'm gonna shapeshift into a bear, and I'm gonna sniff his face, and then give him a huge lick up the side of his face.
I have my tongue hanging out too. That's not good. Well, maybe it is good. Okay, how long are we lying here pretending before this cart comes?
Right, so what is everyone else doing? Bash is on the top of the rock and the bush is hidden. I'll get everyone to roll stealth to see how hidden you are, except for Het and Fiala, who are in plain sight.
I'll be up on the rock as well.
Okay, so Alessandros, Sadiq, and Anari, please roll stealth checks, and Bash. Ooh.
Yay.
What'd you get?
28.
28. Okay, Anari.
14.
Okay, that's cool. Sadiq, when he gets back, where is? I'll use stealth. I'll use a dice roller.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, so I need to roll a stealth check, please, for those that are hiding. So Bash got a 20. So stealth check
I
from
got
you,
a
Sadiq.
dirty 20.
Dirty 20, sweet. So you all, the Het's lying down in the middle of the road, entrails spilt across his midsection and hanging down one side on the road. And Fiala, you're in bear form, sort of waiting for any sign of this cart to start before you start sort of growling and making it look like you've just disemboweled poor Mr. Het. The other group, Bash and Alessandros, are hiding on the rocky outcrop, and I assume Sadiq and Anari are on the opposite side of the road, hidden as well.
Sounds good.
After about 10 minutes or so, you start to hear that sound of wagon wheels on a dirt road. You hear a human voice sort of shouting in common, "All right, get move on, don't back around or you'll get the whip again." And you hear the sound of a whip cracking. And a few minutes after that, you see in the distance this cart wagon moving slowly with single horse moving towards the town. Sitting in the driver's seat, on the seat there is a halfling and what looks to be a human. Very kind of dirty, and they definitely look like they've been in better shape. And walking beside them is about a 6 foot tall humanoid figure, not entirely sure the race, is hooded, carrying in one hand a large bullwhip, and it has a large sort of single-handed sword on his belt. And as they approach, he's going to roll a couple of things here. Cool. As they approach you, you see the guard, the humanoid you assumed the guard, sort of prick his head up and sort of look. "Oi, you all right?" And then Fiala, you see this and hear this, and you start making growling and noises, and you stand up on your like full height on your hindquarters, and he sort of, "Whoa!" and grabs something out of his pocket and fires a dagger at you, and hits with a 20.
That hits.
And as he sort of fires it, and it will do to you. It'll do 3 points of piercing damage. Do you run into the trees? Do you stay where you are?
I'm gonna stay where I am and do the more thing at him.
He sort of goes, "Oh, what? Oh, fuck!" He's sort of standing, not sure what to do now. So he's about 10 feet from you. Alessandros, at this point, you can now see his face. You can see his features. He is a human. Dark hair, thick complexion, very well built.
How tall is he again?
He's about 6'2".
I could probably adjust that a little bit. Okay, how far away is he from me?
About 15 feet from where you are. Like you're probably more like 20 feet top of the rock from where you are. You and Bash are. Bash sort of whispers to you, goes, Can you see his face? Can I kill him now? Oh, come on, please let me split your skull."
All right, so I'm gonna turn into that guy.
Bash sort of looks at you and blinks a little bit and goes, "That's cool."
Shadow step in front of that guy and go, "Now!"
And as you shadow
hit the right one.
As you shadow step in front of him, the dude sort of stops, looks directly into his own face, and his jaw just drops, and he's sort of tilting his head a little bit, trying to sort of comprehend what's going on. And with that, Bash jumps. Like he just takes 2 or 3 steps and then jumps, almost Superman styles, but with a battle axe, both hands, and makes his attack on this guy from where he is. This could go really bad, by the way.
Yes.
We'll see. Ooh, this is actually pretty good. Hits with a 21. He's going to make a dexterity check just to see that he can reach the distance. Actually, no, we'll make it acrobatics. Rolls a 18, so that's good. You guys hit. You're sort of lying there, sort of staring up, and then next thing you see, this half orc, this big, large, burly half orc, dive off the top of this rock, 2-handed axe above his head, and just starts yelling. "Aah!" And as this guard sort of looking into his own face, trying to comprehend, so it doesn't register Bash for a moment, and then sort of catches him out of the corner of the eye, looks up just as Bash buries this axe deep into his skull. Right, we're going to roll a d6. 1 to 3 kills him outright. 3 to 6 will do half his life in damage. Rolls a 3, that is an insta-kill. Bash buries his battle axe so deep into this guy's face that it splits his skull completely in half and lodges itself into the clavicle bones. Just pretty much here, right down the center, right into that bone. And Alessandro, you get sprayed with blood. You hear this sickening crunch and squelching sound as the axe destroys his skull through the brains and smashes all the bones in the clavicle as well. And Bash is now sort of there with his axe in this guy's head and sort of yanks it out, and the body just drops in front of you.
Hit jumps up to help Fiala the bear because he saw the dagger hit her and he feels terrible. He didn't expect anyone to get hurt.
I can't say anything because I'm still a bear. Is it stuck in me, or is it just fell down?
No, it's stuck in you. It would have hit you probably just above the hindquarter, maybe in sort of lower rib area on your right hand side, and it's still lodged in your side.
Oh my crap, Fiala, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect you to get hurt. Here, let me get that out. Hit pulls on the dagger, making sure it is not in any arteries or anything.
Roll a medicine check for me.
Alright, I'm good at that.
I feel like this is going to hurt more coming out than going in.
Oh, Nutty's losing it right now.
18.
18. You've got with your knowledge as a cleric and the time you've spent with the party and the amount of healing you've had to do with this group since you've been with them, you've built up pretty good knowledge of medicinal things and arteries and you'd examine the dagger before you remove it, and it looks like it's pretty superficial. It hasn't done a lot of harm at all, and it's not near any major arteries, and you're able to remove it without too many hassles. It does hurt, and the bear does sort of roar a little bit as you remove it, but it's not a bad wound. It's reasonably superficial, but definitely painful.
Which one threw the dagger? Was that the dead guard?
The dead guy, yeah.
Hit, because he sort of, as that was going on, he turned to take the dagger out. He would have seen it, I suppose, but he just instantly turns back and biffs the dagger back at the dead guard.
Roll to hit at disadvantage because he's now lying prone, and you've got Alessandro standing in front of him and Bash standing beside him.
It was just instant reaction. I'm so sorry. Get ready on the new emote, guys.
Oh, no.
I rolled a 15 and a natural 1.
Oh, no. So, natural 1. Let's see some natural 1 emotes, guys, in the chat. I don't have to...
Just trying to say Fiala, damn it.
Crit fail on Hit's part with a natural 1. Hit, roll a d6 for me, please. 1 to 3 you hit. 1 to 3 you hit Alessandro. 3 to 6 you hit Bash.
1 to 3. 3.
You hit Alessandro's. Roll a d4.
It's just a dagger, Ellie.
Yep, just roll a d4 hit for me, please.
I rolled another 1.
Another 1. So, Alessandro, you feel this pain in your lower back as Hit turns and throws the dagger instinctively, strikes you in the lower back, and you take 1 point of piercing damage.
Oh, take that, you ugly human crap-faced guard. Do not hurt this bear.
Come down.
Well,
He's dead already.
You look exactly like this guard at this point. So
Yes, you do.
I don't know that I'd Hit, roll a perception for me. I don't know that you realise that the guard is lying dead on the other side at this point.
Fuck, wrong natural. Red natural 20.
Natural 20. So let's get a natural 20 now, guys. We're going from one extreme to the other. We've gone to... so with that, you saw the guy, the dead guard, but you still threw it, and you do know that is Alessandra standing in front of you now. But you just sort of you felt better throwing the dagger anyway. It's made you feel better.
Crap. Sorry, Allie. That was meant to hit the dead guy, not the live guy that looks like the dead guy. That isn't the live guy anymore, because his head is... I mean, it's obviously split open. I totally take that back. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
Bash sort of looks at the dead guy, looks at Ellie, looks at the dead guy, looks at Ellie, looks at Het, looks at the dagger, and then starts chuckling to himself. Good shot, Mr. Het. Sorry, Miss Alessandra. I didn't mean that. It's not very funny, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of
Quite
funny.
all right.
And with that, Bash picks up the body and drags it into the bushes on the side of the road.
So I turn. I get one of the other people, other party members, to ask these people, when's the wagon due to go back?
So as you're standing there now beside the wagon, dead guard has just been removed. The halfling and the human, the halfling is a halfling female and a human male, both fairly young looking, dirty, and looks like they've been fairly well beaten. They're just staring wide-eyed at you now, Alessandra's. Sort of mouths sort of agape a little bit, just not saying anything.
All right, you're safe now.
And yeah, that you can tell that they're just not with it right now. Like, they say nothing. Again, just wide-eyed, sort of blinking, sort of just still staring at you.
Het looks at himself covered in goo. He pulls forth his lute and he says, and he sings, covered in guts and blood, he spots use prestidigitation. And he cleans that all up.
DM's inspiration hit, please.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And DM's inspiration to Alessandra as well. Pretty cool plan, guys, and well executed. Actually, everyone take DM's inspiration. Whole team.
So I'm going to where Bash took the body.
Yeah.
Stripped the body of all necessities.
Okay, so you're going to take his weapon, his whip,
clothing, armor.
Okay. The clothing and armor you don't need. As you transform, does it transform your clothing as well?
No.
It doesn't. Okay, so you strip him down. His clothing and armor is pretty goopy by this point. I mean, you've got prestidigitation too, don't you?
So I cast it.
Okay, so you clean it all up, you put it on, you make yourself, do you stash your own clothes with the body or put them in your pack?
Pack.
Okay. So you now pretty much look exactly like this guard. The two civilians sitting on the cart still sort of looking around. They're looking at Het, they're looking at the bear, they're looking at this giant orc, this half orc, they're looking at Sadiq, they're looking at Anari, they're looking at you, and they're just sort of dumbfounded. They haven't said anything yet. They're sort of just looking around wide-eyed and just completely confused and bewildered.
I turn to them and ask them, do you know when this cart is due back?
Who cares when it's due back? We're taking it back with us anyway. Tell them, look at the two halflings and say, you can go home now. We'll take it from here.
You do that.
So who's going to talk to them? Who's going to tell them that?
I just did.
Okay. So they sort of look at you. The halfling woman sort of hesitantly puts the reins of the horse, sort of ties it to there's almost like a brake on this wagon. Like you pull a lever and it puts a lever brake onto one of the wheels. She brakes it, ties the reins to that, and sort of gingerly gets down. Yes.
Before you go, what's at the portal?
She looks at you and goes, she's still kind of weirded out by you, but she says, there's no portal there. We get there with the supplies, and well, there's a man there. He opens a portal, and other men come through, take the supplies, go through the portal, and then it closes, and we come back and get more.
So there's only one person there that opens the portal, no one else?
Yes, it seems that way, yes.
That's all the information we need. Thank you. You can go home.
Oh, thank you. And she just takes off running. The human male that's sitting in the other side of the wagon does the same thing. He gets off the other side a little bit more quickly than she does. And as he passes you, Sadiq, he sort of just reaches out and grabs your hand and shakes it vigorously. Thank you very much, and takes off, making a wide berth around the Fiala bear as they go.
Aww.
So guys, you now have a empty cart. It's not a covered cart, it's an open back cart. Single horse. And you have Alessandros, who now looks like the guard that was travelling with the cart. What are you going to do?
Headcast, speak with animals, and then pats Fiala on the head and round the neck how the bears like it, and he says, "You did a good job. I can understand you now too."
Thanks for helping me out there.
Sorry about the dagger.
Yeah, me too.
And all you guys hear is...
Okay,
Do you
guys,
think-
Fiala says she's good to go.
Do you think we need to find some supplies somewhere
Pick up.
so it doesn't look like we're bringing back an empty cart?
Just throw your packs on there.
Is there a sheet or anything on the cart, a blanket? Oh, we've got blankets. Why don't we hide a few of you under there, bash you under there, and then when we get there, bam, you jump out of the cart, split that guy's skull open, done and dusted.
I like that idea, Mr. Hit. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if we can all fit in this cart, though. I mean, it's not exactly massive.
Are we not going to need the guy for the portal to open it so we can go through and find out who's getting the stuff?
Yeah, this one we're going to have to be a little bit more subtle with. We actually need this guy to open the portal so that we
right.
can go through.
Maybe we'll just ride Fiala like a horse through the bushes and hide while everyone else goes up and through.
Yeah, I bet you want to ride for Yale.
I don't.
No, I don't
I'm
know.
okay with it.
This part of the plan's a little bit more tricky. I don't know how we're gonna actually. Head
If we want this
north.
mage, if we want this mage caster dude, person, whoever the fuck he is, if we want him to open this portal for us so we can see where the stuff's going, only problem with that is, we don't know what's on the other side. I mean, we could be he could portal us right into like the barracks of some evil army or something, and we could. That's dangerous. I think. I mean,
That's what we like to call Wednesday.
but if this dude's working with that vampire fellow, like that Cash Agnon, whatever his fucking name is, if he could portal us right into his fucking dungeon. You don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I don't think Cass really needs food.
But he's
normally
got people working for him, though, doesn't he?
Well, the thing is, we're only meant to stop this situation here by taking the mage out. We stop the food gathering from this town, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cutting the supply off, ain't we? If we stop this, if we kill this mage, no more supplies for whoever this master is. I mean, we don't know even who that is, do we? Really? I mean, we could capture this mage and try and get some answers out of him, but I still think the whole portally thing's a bit of a risk.
We could always
Hmm.
capture the people that come through to take the supplies and find out who they're taking them to.
Well, we capture a lot of people, really. I think the mage might be an easy one to capture, right? I mean, I think that we capture him. I mean, I could cut his hands off so he can't cast no portals, and then I'm pretty sure if we cut his hands off, he's going to be a bit talkative, maybe, and
Maybe we cut
find
them
out who
off.
he's working for, right? I
Until he
mean,
bleeds to death.
we bandage it up so he don't breed to death. I mean, I've done this a couple of times before, right? So we don't want to kill him. We want him to talk. So we cut his hands off, we bandage him up so he don't bleed to death, and then we find out who he's working for, where the supplies are going, and then once we got all the information, we smash him in the face.
I can follow behind on the edge of the woods as a bear. I let Het know with my mind.
right. Sorry,
Sorry.
Fiela's just saying that she's quite happy to follow in the woods as a bear.
Well, that will probably help because then we'll have more room in the cart if we're going to all hide in the cart. I think that's a good idea.
I can always cast Pass Without a Trace to help with people's stealth as well.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So you take a look at the cart, and the cart is, like I said, it's not huge, but you probably be able to fit comfortably, like sort of not comfortably, but covered. You'd probably get 4 of you on the back of this cart with 1 driving or 2 driving. You could have 2 on the front, and you'd probably get 3 or 4 of you in the back. I mean, Bash is quite large, so is Het. You know that probably Anari might get away with being in the front, as possibly a townsperson being an elf. There's no half-orcs in this town, or no orcs that you could see, so Bash and Sadiq would probably have to travel in the back, as would Het. So that leaves essentially Alessandros as the guard and Anari with the cart. So technically, for that, Fiala and Anari could sit on the cart as the cart's drivers, being that the town is mainly human, halfling, and half-elf.
How do you feel about being a red dragon for a little bit?
What?
You can understand Alessandros, but you can't speak back to him.
I tilt my head like, what?
Het being a red dragon. Red dragon board. Sorry.
Why?
Well, I assume that the red dragonborn that we fought was working for the people that's up the road, and maybe he's come with important information for the wizard.
Oh, I see where you're
Ooh.
going with this.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that idea. But how are we going to make Mr. Het red? I mean, I could paint him in blood, but that's kind of obvious. And it would stink.
A little bit, yes.
Het, do you have anything in your bag of tricks that would be able to temporarily change your coloring?
Unfortunately, no, I do not. I have not anything in that bag of tricks, as you say. Not like that, at least. Sorry. And I'm looking very intensely, and I cannot find it. No, any other ideas?
So that moment you wish people had thaumaturgy or thaumaturgy, whatever it's called. Oh, we have pink nail polish. We do.
Nothing.
Oh, I don't think we have enough pink nail polish to paint his face.
Mercenary,
And hair.
just a word. Pink. I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure pink's not red. I mean,
Well, it could be.
I mean, he's not a
what
pink. He
kind of-
wouldn't. I don't think Mr. Het would look pretty good as. I don't think he'd look very good as a pink dragonborn. I don't think I've ever seen a pink dragonborn. I've seen a blue one
think
and
they
a red
exist.
one, and I've seen a white one. Well, now I've seen a white one. Don't see many of them, but I've even seen a copper one, but never seen a pink one.
Do you think the villagers might have some red paint back at the village?
Oh, they might do. I mean, they might have some red dye of some sort, I guess.
I think we're looking too hard into this. Let's just get on the cart as we are and head down there.
I
One
think we
driver's
got
enough.
Yeah, I think we got enough here. I mean, if Miss Fiala in the furry form is going to run in the woods, then we got Miss Inari riding the driving the cart, and us hiding in the back, covered up. I think we'll be all right.
And Ellie being
No,
the guard alongside should be good.
I'm just gonna run up and slap Het just to see if it makes him go red.
Roll to hit, and hit roll.
That one.
Never mind. Natural one,
Hit.
guys. Inari charges up to you, hit, and goes to slap you, and you just sort of move your head back just like half an inch, and it just goes across in front of your face.
Het puts his hands up on his face and says, "My God, woman, have you been talking to Sadiq as well?"
No, I just wanted to see if we could pink you up a little bit.
Speak up, woman.
Okay. I'm just a one-woman dragonborn. I'm sorry. As you were.
It's alright, I look over and wink at Ellie. It's like, I wasn't interested in you anyway.
Huh?
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna start heading for the woods.
Right. So with that, Bash sort of says, "All right, I'm going to get on back this thing then and lie down and get all ready." So are we going to have a signal? Well, again, we need a signal. What, Miss Alexandra's, Andy looked like this dirty human fella. I mean, he kind of smelled better, but if what signal are you going to give us so we jump out and go, yeah, surprise, and capture this mage? If there is one there, of course. We don't even know he's there yet. But.
I'll wing it.
Oh, we need to know kind of what. I mean, you're just going to yell now, or is it going to be a code word, or what?
Now sounds good.
All right,
Now
then.
sounds good.
Just making sure, because I mean, I don't want jump and gun or anything and fuck shit up. So. All right, then I'm on the back. So Bash sort of climbs in the back and lies down over one side, almost like hugging his axe.
Het reluctantly climbs up into the wagon and lies down as well.
Same.
The Fiella's off into the trees. Alessandros, you're going to be walking beside the cart as is to be expected, and Inari, you are the lucky driver.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace just to give a little bit extra.
So for what for?
I was just looking at that, and I probably won't.
Probably don't need to, because I mean everyone's hidden
Oh,
under
okay.
under
I'm
the
just gonna
thing.
put the blankets over nicely, make sure there's no bits sticking out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you turn the cart around, and I'll get you to make an animal handling check for me first to see how well you can handle the horse and the cart, because I don't know how often you've driven a horse and cart before. So
19.
apparently pretty well. So you have no problems. You untie the reins, you take off the brake, give the reins a bit of a flick, and the horse turns and moves and starts moving back towards where it came. You do know that the portal, or the place where the cart was supposed to go, is approximately a couple of 100 feet from the edge of the township, and not on the road, but off to the east. So Het has a compass, so he'll be able to tell you which way that is. But you can follow the tracks. You can see the roads. It's been raining here of late, so the road is not super muddy, but there's enough of a track you can probably follow the most recent tracks to your destination.
I'd be able to track them.
Well, you'd have a good idea. So Fiala, you sort of what are you doing? You keeping pace with the wagon, going ahead, staying behind?
I'm like a little bit in front of the wagon, but kind of watching, keeping in ear range for Ali's signal.
All right. So you guys, you're not going fast because obviously Alessandros is walking with the carriage. It's going to take you probably, I'd say, about half an hour, 45 minutes to reach the area in which this caster is supposed to be. So
Hit uses prestidigitation twice in a row. The first time to make a faint puff of wind right behind Bash, and the second time to make a dirty odor come from Bash's area.
Bash sort of turns around and sniffs a bit. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Mr. Hit, I didn't mean to. Oh, that was a good one.
Bash, Sadiq. I wish I'd have chosen the other side by Sadiq. I thought it was just your smell, Bash, but no, you've had something bad for lunch.
And then Bash actually does fart. Oh shit! And that smells twice as bad as what you've just created, and it brings tears to the eyes. And Bash just sort of chuckles to himself. You get the impression that he knew what you'd done, and has just paid you back for it.
Oh, that is not good.
How far out are we?
You're now probably you can see where the wagon has left the road. So you're now taking that turn off the road. You're now moving into light to thick trees, light to thick sort of bush area, and you now come to an area you can see the sort of tracks. It almost looks like a bit of a ruin. There's a rendition of a rock wall, and it looks like it looks like a pillar that might have fallen over, and a few rocks and that sort of scattered about the place. There's a small clearing. There is no sign of a portal or anything in this area at the moment. There is no sign of any person right now. So I'll get Alessandros and an Ari. Can I get you both to make a perception check for me, please? 7.
And 16.
16. So, Alessandros, you sort of look around the area and you don't really see anything. By this time, it's gotten quite dark. So, unless you have your goggles on, you probably can't see a whole lot anyway. Maybe 10 feet. You can probably see about 10 feet in front of you. That's about it. And Ari, you have dark vision, so you look around this area and you sort of notice there are a number of footprints, and that leading to a point next to the rock wall that don't go anywhere anymore. It's sort of, they stop at that point. You need to mute your microphone while I'm talking, please. So yes, you sort of see that area, and you take notice. You don't say anything at this point. I don't know that you'd say anything. You may whisper to Ellie if you want, or whisper to the others. But you notice that they sort of lead up to that point and vanish at a point. So you believe that's probably where the portal has been opened. But you do not see anyone at this point.
I'll relay that to Ali and the guys in the cart.
Come on, move the cart up. Keep going.
Do you keep moving the cart up?
Yep.
So you follow the instructions of the Alessandros guard, and you proceed forth towards the rock wall, and you get as close as you can before you have to stop. As you stop, and you sort of look around again, Alessandros, you sort of look around and you hear a voice come from the darkness, because you can't see. Anara, you sort of see a shadowed figure in the distance. Again, it's not, you can't see any features, but it's just a cloaked figure. Oh, you're back so soon? With more supplies, I suppose?
Of course.
And what have you brought us this time?
Not sure what they gave us. They just loaded it up. We're on it. We're here.
Right. What happened to the other halfling that was with this carriage before? There was supposed to be two.
I got frightened by some crap. I don't know what.
Right. Roll a deception check for me.
13.
And this voice now presents itself closer to you. You see a hooded figure, dark hair coming down beside its face. Male, human male, about 5'8", 5'9". It's not very tall, but sort of just below 6 foot. Slight build, wearing dark robes. Nutty, mute your microphone, please. The dark robes, long sort of wizards type robes, and so he steps forward and sort of leans into you and says, "Right, well, we'll get this one to start unloading, and I'll prepare the portal."
Yep, no problem. Come on, you lot. Start unloading.
He turns to you and says, "You lot? There's only one. Something's not right here with you. You feeling okay?"
Hit me head getting some drink and all that.
He sort of gives you a sly look, and then
Am
turns.
I close by?
Yeah, you can see and hear what's going on. You've sort of come up through the trees, and you can see and hear what's going on from your position.
And now I got a headache.
As the mage turns, Bash.
That's us. That's our symbol.
Is
That's our signal.
Is that signal, Mr. Hit? Is that it?
Yeah, he said now, like in a now.
Are you sure? I don't want to premature. What are we doing? We cutting his hands off, cutting his head off, or what? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Knock him out.
I'm going to charge.
You're going to charge, Fiala?
Yep.
Okay, so Fiala, you charge at the mage.
Yes.
From your position, you should be able to charge straight into melee. What save does he have to make to stop you from knocking him prone?
Actually, I don't think I can charge, so I'm just going to move my...
I'll allow you to charge. I'll allow you to charge. I'll allow it for the purposes of this. Be strength
what
save?
would a save be on a charge?
Be a strength. Right. So we'll make it your... What's your spell modifier? Your spell DC, sorry?
My spell DC is... I don't know my spell DC.
Yeah. It's on where your spells are at the very top.
Plus
16.
16, yeah.
Yep. So we'll make a strength save. Rolls a natural 20 on a strength save. That is a nat 20 from the DM, guys. So critical save. As you charge in as a bear, the mage sort of turns and you hit him, and it's almost like hitting a barrier, an unseen barrier, as you slam into him, and he doesn't move. His eyes widen. He turns and looks at the guard and says, "Guard, get this bear quickly!" And he sort of backs away.
Draw my rapier and lunge at the mage.
Okay, so I'll give you an attack, then I'll give Bash attack, then we'll go into initiative. So what are you trying to do, Alstronus?
attack the mage.
You're gonna attack him to kill him or attack him to knock him out?
Now,
Knock him out. Okay, so you're gonna make a non-lethal attack. How are you gonna do it?
good question. Use the pummel of the sword, I guess.
Yep. So you charge in and you go to strike him in the temple with the pummel of your rapier. Roll to hits.
15.
That does hit. Roll a d6 for me, and 1 to 3 you succeed in knocking him out. 4 to 6 he will take bludgeoning damage.
3.
And you, nice rolls tonight, guys. You strike the mage across his temple as hard as you can with the pummel of your rapier, and you hit him in just in that perfect spot. And you watch his eyes roll back in his head, and he falls backwards, prone and unconscious. And as you're doing that, Bash jumps out of the wagon. Ah! I was going to cut his hands off. Well, that's just not fair. How are we going to make him talk if he's unconscious?
Tie him up and we'll wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Just splash water in his face.
Oh, that's true. I got some rope if you want me to tie him up. We'll tie him to that tree over there. And he points to a small, it's a good sizable sort of tree, almost like a dead tree, but it's like quite a sturdy trunk still.
No, tie him to the cart wheel.
That's probably not a bad idea. So he goes over and drags this mage over to the cartwheel, pulls his hands through the cartwheel rungs, and ties his hands on the other side of the cartwheel, and then runs a loop around the guy's neck as well, so that his head's sort of pinned back against the cartwheel also.
Then I think we should get Fiala right up in his face, growling for when he wakes up, so she can be just intimidating as hell, and then he will answer all of your questions.
Well,
I mean,
I've
I
got
could
some
just still
honey.
cut his hands off. I mean, or his feet.
No, I don't think we need to cut anything off. I'm thinking if we get some honey and rub it on his face and get Fiala to sit there licking it off,
Oh,
that
that could work.
The living shite out of him.
That could work. I mean, it depends on how. I mean, he's a mage. He's working for the evil people, right? So he might not be intimidated by that. I mean, I would be intimidated by that because bears are scary things. But
Once we've finished that, can heads have a turn?
you want to lick his face too? That's
No,
kind of
head.
that's kind
Head
of
will be
kinky. That's
tied to
kind
the
of
window.
kinky. That's kind of kinky, Mr. Het. I mean, that's. I mean, if you want to lick his face, I mean, that's up to you. But
Oh no, Het wants to be the one that got tied up.
I see.
Activate something in your head or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Later.
that's kind of kinky too. But
What kind of creature is this mage? Does he look like a human?
He is a human.
So head's okay with eating his face too. It doesn't matter once we've got our answers.
Okay.
Oh, you're into the cannibalism? Although, is it cannibalism?
He's
for
not my kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cannibalism if it's a different species. I mean, Mr. Het is a
Me
dragon,
and Fiala can share a
and-
romantic meal.
and got the Fiala beer and the Het with sharp teeth, and I mean, technically,
Okay.
I could eat his face and it'd be right too. You know, I mean, human
Okay,
is
what
kind of tasty.
This is what I'm thinking. We have Fiala sitting down, like, right in front of him when he wakes up. Het sitting there patting Fiala's head to make
Oh,
it look
yeah.
like that's his pet. Me and Bash behind those two. I think that's going to be a pretty intimidating look when he first wakes up.
And I can put my tarantula in his lap as well.
Yes, you could do
Oh,
that.
that could
Although,
work.
No.
being a mage, he's probably used to familiars, so
Oh,
Yeah, I think the familiars is more of a warlock thing and sorcerer. But being a magic user, he's probably conjured up some all manner of beasties, I would imagine. So I don't know.
all right, let's do it. I'll keep him out of the way, the spider out of the way, but we'll do the rest. That's a good idea.
So
I'm liking our ideas tonight.
I think we've been planning pretty well. I mean, I was a little bit concerned that you guys would be all rip, shit, and bust and just boil the gate type stuff. Because I mean, I keep Mr. Aslan alive by all this planning. You see, I mean, I'm not as stupid as I look or sound. You might have figured that out by now. I don't know.
Viola goes to the tree and sits and waits and kind of looks at everyone.
And with that, who is going to attempt to wake the mage?
I can.
yeah.
I
I
was
think
gonna see if I could prod him with an arrow.
yeah, like, that's what. So we'll do that setup where Fiala's sitting there, well, even just standing there, like half over his body, head doing the old dragonborn patting his pet. The two half orcs behind, sharpening our weapons, and have the elf and the who will now be an elf on the other side, sharpening their weapons. So he's got a whole group of very intimidating looking individuals, and he's tied up to a cart.
So yeah, well, I think that'll kind of work. So with that, you're gonna splash water on his face. Or you're just gonna wait till he wakes up naturally, or you're gonna have the bear lick his face.
I've got an extra water skin, so I'm just gonna give that to Ali or
Yeah, I'll take it and I'll
that.
just pour it over his
Get
head.
them to pour it over.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna poke him with an arrow.
Well, there's no point in poking him with an arrow. He's unconscious.
Pain. Best way to wake a person up is pain.
You might kill him too.
We'll just stick with the water.
Let an arrow poke something. Right. Anari is nutty. Trashman is Alessandros, and Orbasm is hit. There you go, chat. Just I mean, I'm going to look at getting the Discord overlay working again. It looks like it may be working again, so we may look at getting back into that. But we are looking at going to cams at some time in the future, so just need to organise a few bits and pieces first. We're going to take a short break before we go any further. It's just after 9, so this is our usual break time. So chat, thank you guys for hanging out. So Paro, yes. Trashman is Alessandros. Mr. Pecker is Sadiq. Nutty Tart is Anari. Orbasm is Het. And Yanti is Fiala.
That's me.
So we did have the Discord overlay running at one point, but then it crashed down and it didn't work for like a month. Not sure what is sort of happening there, and but it looks like it might be working again. But we are looking at changing to cameras at some point. I did notice that. Chapters, thank you.
All right, quick bio. I'll be back.
I was looking at that the whole time thinking I've got to adjust that. But that is done. Thank you. I think all the portraits are off a little bit, but we'll fix them up. But yeah, so we're going to take a short break, guys. I'll be right back. Bear with us. and we'll answer a few more questions. It's only about 5 minutes. We're going to be back. We're going to, if you've got any questions, hit up the cast and myself with any questions you've got, but give us a couple of minutes. Sorry about that, chat. I don't know what happened with the sound there, but it seems to have sorted itself out. Sorry about that, chat. I don't know what happened with the sound there, but it seems to have sorted itself out. Sorry about that, chat. I don't know. We're getting echoes. Well, we're getting echoes. Well,
I can't hear anybody.
we're getting echoes. Well,
I can't hear
At
anybody.
Hello.
Oh, now I can. That's
we're
okay.
getting echoes.
Maybe that's why I
Well,
disconnected and reconnected. I can't hear
At
anybody.
all.
Hello.
oh, that may have
Too
been
nutty.
because I had the gaming PC turned on to listen to it. That's why you heard it 4 times.
Pew.
It was an echo, echo, echo.
Yeah, because I got the because of the way I've got the stream set up. If I have the gaming PC unmuted on the OBS, it cycles. Is that possibly what would have caused the audio anomaly before? So I might actually take the gaming PC audio off this Don't really need it on here. I know I do need it on here. Otherwise I can't hear the gaming PC when I do stuff. But that's good. I've muted it. It's fine. So we're back.
We are back.
So chat, any questions before we get back into things over here and in the bushes and in the trees with the mage tied up and unconscious? Think we're ready? Good. Looks that way.
Cricket.
So, you have a mage tied up to your wagon wheel. It is now not late in the evening, but it's definitely dark. The owls are out hooting. Nighttime creatures are stirring. So those of you with dark vision, or if you ever want to put a light up or anything, it is quite dark out here. There is a small sort of fire now that you're sort of there that it's out, but there is a small fireplace that has been used. So what are you doing? We're going to splash some water on this dude's face or pour some water on his head.
Yeah, Ellie's going to do that.
Yeah, pour water on head.
There looking.
So
Well,
Alessandra,
we stand
do
there
you still look like the guard?
Yeah.
Okay. Just had to clarify. So you pour the water over the mage's head and face, and sort of he slumped forward. And as you pour the water, it takes a little bit, but as you pour the water, he sort of, and his sort of eyes sort of groggily open, and he sort of looks up and
I'm above him on the cart.
he sort of, what does he see first? Who's right in front of him?
It is patting Fiala around the neck, but we are both grinning bearing our angry teeth.
He sort of looks up and his
Oh,
eyes
yeah.
widen. Roll intimidation check, both of you, with advantage.
Man, I don't need advantage. My intimidation is through the roof.
Nat 20.
Natural 20!
And I rolled so low, I got a 14.
Holy shit. Even with a 14, you're pretty intimidating. With a natural 20, the bear steps forward half a step and leans in and growls, grinning the teeth, and Het, you sort of just stand there grinning away intimidatingly, and his eyes widen and he sort of tries to, you see his feet pushing against the dirt. He can't move his hands upon his back, and his head's sort of tied back, and he's sort of trying to push as far back into the wagon wheel as he can. He hasn't said anything at this point, just sort of looking at both you wide-eyed, and you can tell that he's quite scared.
Righto, gentlemen. What do we want to know from this guy?
Huh.
Who does he serve? Who does he trust? Just who does he serve? Where's the food going?
You heard the man. Who do you serve? And where is the supplies going to?
The supplies, I don't know where they go. I just open the portal. I was given the portal scroll, and I use it, and it just opens. I don't know where it goes, I swear.
That seems a little odd to open a portal to somewhere you don't know. Strange being. Who do you work for?
I can't. No. He will kill me if I tell you. I can't. No. He sort
Yayla,
of
my
tries to
dear, take his
turn.
feet off. Eat his feet. Eat him. Do something. Eat him badly.
No, I don't want to die. No,
All right,
I can't tell
just
you.
his left hand. Go.
his hands die behind his back.
I growl and start chewing on his boot a little bit.
Get it off! Get it! I swear I work for Cass Agnon. the vampire. All the food's going to him, I swear. Get it off me!
I'm gonna stop.
Okay, head sort of pats your head and goes, shh, it's all good, you did a good job. He'll be chopped up soon enough. So Casagnon doesn't eat, so who's he feeding?
He's got an army of slaves, of course. I mean, he commands the undead, but he has loyal slaves as well. I mean, this one, and he sort of looks up at Alessandros, obviously human guards and such. He's got to feed them and supply them with weapons and stuff.
I shift back to my normal form in front of him.
As he's looking, so he sort of looks and blinks and goes, "Oh shit." And he sort of looks down, and with that, at that moment, you guys hear a chuckling from behind you. An all too familiar voice.
Fuck.
Still pursuing this course of action, I see. And with that, you watch the mage's face. The veins start to turn grey and black and creep up the side of his face, and he starts going, "Ah!" And his skin turns grey and to ash, and his whole body then disintegrates and ash right before your eyes. As you turn to find the source of this voice, you see Casagnon standing maybe 20 feet away from you, his hand raised, clenched in a fist, and as the robes sort of fall against where this body once was, he releases his hand and folds his hand back together in front of him. And he then just grins, showing his fanged teeth. So, again, you meddle with my plans. Maybe it's time to teach you a lesson. And he sort of turns and holds out a hand and says to an unseen figure, "It's time for you to prove your worth." And from behind the stone wall where you both stand, a dark armored individual steps out, carrying a large shield and a single sword emanating a dark aura. You have seen this figure once before, standing in the guild house as you spoke to the human form of Kosis. This dark paladin, those red eyes peering through the helmet slits, is your former companion, Neymaris. And at this point, we will roll initiative. And we'll go to our battle map. Just as soon as I put things down. So roll your initiatives, just hold them, I'll ask for them in a moment. I'm just going to set the map. Just give me 1 second, guys. Therefore, no.
And to the right, chat, you see, I think it's a zombie head.
This is just the face he puts on for, streaming. Other times he wears the others.
Then to the left, we have, I don't know what you'd call that. What? Yeah, I
It's his
forgot your name.
after hours head.
Yeah, after hours head.
That's what he looks like when he gets up in the morning.
Coffee after coffee.
Talking
Who keeps
about me,
giving him head?
talking about me
Going
without
to bed mask.
when I'm not looking. Right, so we'll get some initiatives before we go to the battle map. Alessandra,
Yeah.
your initiative, please.
We don't know nothing.
Your initiative, please.
18.
18. Hit.
10 for hit.
Yela.
19 for Fiala.
Anari.
21 for Anari.
Sadiq.
The mighty 8.
Ooh, 8. And Mr. Bash gets, do a roll for him, a natural 1, which gives him a 3. So, Anari, you are the top of the round. With that, we will switch over to our battle map. And there is our map. So the I don't have a cart mini. I'm going to get one eventually. I'm going to make one. But anyway, at the moment, the cart would be roughly in the center there. Hit and Fiala there. Alessandris and Anari on the back of the cart still. Bash and Sadiq off to one side. We have obviously Cass standing there and Neymaris standing next to him. So as you can see, you got a brick wall there. Is your sort of brick wall. You got a few ruins of rocks and trees and bits and pieces around. The black lines are just the tracks of the cart as it came in. At this point, there is no portal.
No, Maris is not there.
Yes?
That's Ashana.
That is Maris. You guys don't know any different. So there.
I just don't know. Anari doesn't know.
Right, so Anari, it is your first initiative.
Right, I need to get off the cart. So I am going to...
You don't need to. I mean, it's up to you whether you do.
I can see both.
You can see, because you're, if you're looking, you're standing on the back of the flatbed of a cart. You're elevated above Fiala and Het, so you would have line of sight on both of them.
Okay, I can see both of them. I am going to knock an arrow and hold my move.
Okay, so you're just going to knock an arrow and hold your action. What are you specifically waiting for?
I am waiting to see who moves first out of Cass and what they're going to do.
So you're just going to wait for someone to move and then you're going to shoot them, or you need to be more specific?
I'm just going to wait to see what one of them... Actually, no, I'm not. I'm lying. I am going to cast Hail of Thorns as a bonus action.
Okay.
Level 1. And I am going to, using Sharpshooter, target Cass.
Okay, so with Sharpshooter, target Cass and make your attack.
That is 23 to hit.
As you fire your arrow towards Cass, what would normally hit strikes an invisible barrier, and the arrow breaks. It would normally have been a really good hit too. It would have hit him fair and just in the upper chest area, but you see it physically strike a barrier in front of him, and he just looks at you, knowing like he knew exactly where the arrow came from. Looked at you and just grins.
Okay, I'll hold the rest of my action.
you've used your action. You can't hold it anymore. You can't hold
Well,
the
I've
rest of
got
it.
3 attacks, so it was kind of a waste of time.
If you can't hold any further of the action, though, you've started your action.
Oh, well, I'll keep going. Second one is an 11. Third one is a 15.
And they all miss.
Okay.
Were they all at Cass or?
Yeah, no, they were all at
Okay.
Cass.
So they all strike that same barrier. It's almost like he's almost like he's standing behind plate glass. It was that same sort of feel, but you can see the arcane nature of it as the arrows strike. And he, again, like I said, he's looking directly at you and just grinning. Do you want to move from where you are?
I will stay where I am.
Okay.
No point moving.
Gala, you're up next. Alessandros, you're up after that.
Who's closest to me? I guess they're both closest to me.
Yeah, they're both within sort of 15 feet of you guys. They're sort of, while you were interrogating the mage, they've essentially just appeared there. I mean, obviously through magical means.
I'm gonna attack that Cass, I guess.
You're going to attack Cass? You're going to move into melee?
Yeah, that sounds really bad, but I'm doing it.
So you move into melee with Cass Agnon to make your attack.
I'm gonna do a multi-attack. First one is a 14 to hit.
That misses. Again, you strike out with your claws or your bite or whatever you're attacking with first, and you strike that same invisible barrier. There is a magical barrier stopping you from attacking him, and you feel it as you rake your claws across it.
Oh, so this is probably pointless, huh? Can I can't switch my multi-attack, can I, in the middle?
If you wanted to switch, if you wanted to switch to Neymar, she's standing right next to him. I would say that you could switch your attack, knowing that you could not attack Cass, definitely.
I rolled a 15 on the second one towards Nemaris.
And that also misses. You strike out and find nothing but armor.
And then I just roar frustratingly, because that's it for me.
Cass looks down at you, and you hear, in your mind, nice try, Druid. You'll have to do better than that. And with that, it is Alessandros, your turn.
That black wall, how wide is it?
At its widest point, probably about 5 feet. Be big enough to stand on.
Cool. Shadow step up.
So you shadow step to the top of the wall.
And take a bow shot at Namara.
No worries, make your strike. That also finds nothing but armor. You draw your bow, you fire, and Namaris turns and raises his shield just as the arrow reaches her, and deflects the shot with the large shield she carries. You can see her red eyes piercing through underneath the helmet, looking directly at you.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. Next up, we have... Yes, we do. With that, Cass looks at you all and says, "Have fun." And he turns, takes half a step and vanishes. You then hear from the distance a loud roar and a second. And
crap.
through the trees, Alessandro, I don't know if you've got your goggles on, you probably wouldn't be able to see it. Those with dark vision, you've definitely heard it lands crunching down through the trees and vegetation, but a large, bony, scaled dragon.
Can I use a free action to put my goggles on?
You can.
I'll do that.
And next up we have Het.
Het turns to face Namaris.
Actually, no, we don't. Sorry, I lied. Next up is Namaris, then Het. Sorry, you're up next, dude.
Oh.
Sorry, that was my
Right.
bad. I missed one. So with that, this Namaris, your once companion, you got, it has Fiala beside her. She's Alessandros up on the wall there. She turns, scans the battlefield, turns into Fiala, and strikes. She will roll a 28 to hit.
I think that hits.
I think that hits also.
Nah, that's a miss.
She will do 15 points of slashing damage, and you will also need to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
That's an 11.
That is a failure. You'll also take 2d6 points of necrotic damage, which will be 4 points of necrotic damage also. She doesn't say anything, but you can hear the heavy breathing from inside the helmet. She's just, it doesn't feel like Namaris to you anymore. It's definitely a different entity, but you know it's her. She is your friend, or was your friend. Now, sorry, Het, that is your turn.
Het reaches into his pack and says, "Oh man, I need some courage." And he pulls out a flask. He pulls out the iron flask and he pulls the stopper from the flask. DM, I believe you need to make a D100 roll or tell me what's in it, one or the other.
Ooh, let's make a D100 roll. That'll make it more interesting.
Ooh.
So D100 roll, we got a 18.
The flask is empty, and that is perfect. It says here, as an action, I speak the flask command. Target a creature that I can see within 60 feet. And basically it's going to have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom
or it's going
saving
to be
throw.
trapped in the flask.
Wisdom saving throw.
Come on, Het.
What is the DC of the wisdom saving throw?
It is 17.
One moment.
Roll low, roll low.
Right. As you pull the stopper on the flask, speak the command word and point it towards your once companion, you hear a sucking noise from the flask. And Namaris sort of turns to look at you, moves slightly, but then nothing happens. Flask has failed. She rolled an 18, guys.
Shit.
That
And
is-
just to confirm it, Nutty, if you would like to just pop over here for a moment, just so that we can. I use the dice roller.
Oh,
Come on, Nutty. It's a 7.
it's an 18.
Het
She
moves.
has a wisdom of +0. She rolled a natural 18.
Het will move 25 feet towards the grey wall, the back end of the grey wall, the opposite end of the wall to Alley at that same time.
Right, done.
That flask can't be used anymore, huh?
Yes, it can, I think. It doesn't have any limits. I was just reading it.
Yeah, you can just try again next time.
That is the plan. One dragon and her in the bottle would be nice. Other than that, it is Het's turn over.
And with that, Sadiq, you're up, and then Bash is on board.
Alright, I'm gonna go take a swing at Namaris after I activate my Ritual Dawn.
So you watch as Sadiq's sword lights up in a radiant, bright white light as he cuts himself using his own life essence to start the Rite of Dawn.
Alright, so my attack is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 on Namaris.
Correct.
So are you throwing the dagger at her, or
Oh no, I run up.
You run
and
up? Okay.
Attack.
again, you find nothing but armor. She is well armored, this large shield, almost shoulder to ankle length. It is absolutely massive. And as you strike forward with your sword, you find nothing but shield in this first attack, second attack.
21.
It also misses. Again, you find nothing but shield.
Nothing else I can do yet. So, next.
With that is Bash's turn. Bash doesn't know who Namaris is. He doesn't know much about you guys in that respect. So he just charges into combat. Puts himself into a flanking position. So he will get advantage on his attack. And he strikes out with the vicious battle axe. First roll was a 25. His advantage roll, they're both high, so 21 and 25. So he does hit. He will do. He will do 7 points of slashing damage as he strikes down, hitting Namaris across the rear of the shoulder armor. Namaris spins and turns to face him. And all Bash now sees is just the red eyes sort of glowing through this helmet, and he just sort of glares back, ready to strike out again. As a bonus action, after that attack, he'll then go into a rage, which will bring some magical stuff with it. I need to make a roll here. One second, I gotta find out. Gotta remember where the hell it is on my sheet. So Wild Surge, got to roll a d8, which is an 8. So with him roaring out and dropping into a rage as a bonus action, a beam of brilliant light lances from his chest in a 5 foot wide, 60-foot long line. This is not going to be good for you guys, I'm sorry. So not good for Sadiq and Fiala. Each creature in line must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, please.
Mine is a 19.
A 19. You succeed. So you will take... No, you don't take any damage. You succeed. Sadiq, your con save, please.
4.
You fail. You take 2d8 worth of radiant damage, which will be 10 points. 7 points, sorry. 7 points of radiant damage as this beam of radiant light surges out from Bash's chest as he goes into a rage. Now Maris will make a con save, which will be 20, so she saves and does not take the damage. And that is Bash's turn. Back to the top of initiative. Inari, it is your turn.
What's my line of sight like on Namaris?
You've got, if you're still on the back of the cart, you have a good line of sight.
Right. I reach into my pack and I take out the file that the Emerald Enclave gave me. And I target the Dark Paladin's head. And I draw my bow.
We'll roll this attack with advantage.
Oh. 24.
That does hit.
Yes.
You draw your bow, you attach the vial that was given to you by your employers, your benefactors. You've been a member of the Enclave pretty much your whole life. You've been trained for this moment. You draw your bow, steady your aim, you release, and you strike the paladin on the side of the helmet, top and side of the helmet with the vial. The vial shatters. Sadiq, Bash, and Fiala, from your vantage point, you see this radiant liquid roll down the helmet, down into the seams of the helmet, down inside the armor, down into the eye slits of the armor, and then next thing you see, mute your microphone please, Nutty. Next thing you see is the paladin starts sort of moving, shaking his head, and you hear these sort of moans and grunts from inside the helmet, almost non-human sounds coming from this entity. Nutty, can I get you to roll a d6 for me, please, and tell me what you get?
1.
With that, this paladin then drops to one knee. The helmet, as she drops one knee and drops forward, the helmet falls off, hits the ground, kang, 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 rolls to one side. Sadiq, you for the first time see the face of Namaris. The eyes are no longer glowing that brilliant red that they have been, that you saw through the slit of that helmet, but have returned to somewhat normal humanoid eyes to a degree. Sword drops to the ground beside her. Shield drops. Het, where are you? You're over there. Fiala, you, from even in your bare form, you now look into the face of your former friend, recognizing that spark of humanity that you once knew. And with that, Inari, are you going to finish out your turn, or is that all you're going to do?
That's all.
Yayla, you are up next. Your turn.
Oh. Is the mage nearby me? No, that they're not.
The mage is still tied to the
Yeah.
wagon wheel, and he's
The mage
sitting.
is dust.
He's still. The mage is dead. Sorry, yeah, the mage is dust.
He turned to dust.
Cass turned him to dust.
And I don't see that thing far away in the corner, do I?
You all see the large dragon figure looming in the woods behind the ruins. It is big enough that you can all see it.
Thing is, I just don't want to hit him. I'm gonna move out of wild shape and hold my turn. Oh,
Do you say anything?
I'm gonna say nay.
You can say something if you wish as a free action. Or as your action, you can speak.
I'm gonna say nay. Is that you? Are you there?
Nutty, you can respond if you wish.
Oh. Hello, Fiona. Yes, it's me. I'm back.
Yay! And then I'm gonna yell at everyone that Namaris is back, and that's my turn.
So Namaris, at this point, you are you're down on one knee, helmet at your side, sword, helmet in front of you, sword to your right, shield to your left. You are not in the initiative order at this point, but you are, for all intents and purposes, you are yourself again. Alessandros, your turn. You saw this take place from your position. You saw her drop. You saw the helmet drop.
Seeing what's transpired in front of me, I shift my aim towards the dragon.
Are you going to fire?
Yes.
Fire away.
.24.
24 does hit.
.11 damage.
You fire your bow, you draw, you knock, you fire, and you strike the dragon, or this undead looking thing, in one of its wings. Again, it cries out as you strike it, and now his attention is focused solely on you. Its glowing blue eyes, its toothy grin from its bony head, solely focused on you, Alessandros. Are you going to do anything else?
I'm going to stay where I am. I've got a nice clear shot of you.
And with that, it is now the dragon's turn. Let's see here. Whew. It's going to take flight. It lifts off, flies, and then drops, landing and killing Alessandros. No. And lands right beside you. Sorry, I knocked you off the wall. You're dead outright. That's it. You're dead. And with that, it's we're gonna make. It's gonna make 3 attacks. Is it gonna make 3 attacks or not? Let's see. No, it's gonna use a legendary action. And it raises up on its hind legs, raises its wings, and just flaps its wings 2 or 3 times. I need everyone within 10 feet, so that would be pretty much you, Alessandros. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please. 7?
11.
11? Yeah, that doesn't succeed either. So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage and you are knocked prone. Because of where you are, you'll need to make another dexterity save throw because you just got knocked off the wall.
Can I do acrobatics for that one?
No, it's a dexterity saving throw because you're being knocked backwards.
19. Blah.
That is a save, so you're lucky there. You won't take any further damage, but you are still prone.
Cool.
You get knocked off the wall, and as you go down, you sort of land half on your feet, but then you stumble backwards and you fall prone as the dragon's wings exert a force that just knock you backwards off your position. With that will be the dragon's turn. And Neymaris is up next. So, Neymaris, you feel strange. You've been under this spell or control for quite some time now. Your head is pounding. You feel absolutely drained, have no energy. So you will take a level of exhaustion at this point. Have you got your character sheet up? Don't worry about if you have.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, so it's mark a level of exhaustion. I think I marked your damage before.
No, you didn't.
Just refresh your page.
I'm just figuring out where I put my levels of exhaustion.
It's under
at the
conditions.
moment.
Conditions just below your hit
Oh,
points.
yeah. Sweet.
So you have one level of exhaustion. So refresh your page, you should be at 84 hit points.
Yep, got it. Sweet.
Just
So
a question, DM.
yes,
With that not being knocked back,
yes.
wouldn't that ring Featherfall would have helped? Yes.
Is that working all the time, or you have to use a command word?
It works all the time. I'm pretty certain.
Actually, that would help. Probably, you were quite right. Hang on, let me double check your equipment.
When you are falling while wearing this ring, you descend 60 feet per round and take no damage from falling.
Yeah, well, you took no damage. You're still prone though.
Fine.
So you're okay. You didn't take any damage. You're fine.
Sure.
But you're correct. It probably would have helped if you'd taken damage. But with that, so that's pretty much your turn, Neymaris. You can't really do anything at this round. You are you're completely exhausted. You're just been snapped out of the spell. You're groggy. Your head's pounding. You can still hear the voice of Ashana in the back, almost trying to push through. Still, you still hear Cass's voice also. Issuing commands or trying to issue commands. You hear the voice of Asmodeus, you hear the voice of Kosis. All these voices they're all still in your head, and it is taking its toll.
Okay.
So you cannot do anything at this point. Hit, it is your turn, sir. And Sadiq, you're on board after that.
Het pulls forth his symbol of the, I can't even remember his name. And with that, he releases, he traces a sigil in the air and says 5 magics and releases Vic Bolt at the bony dragon thing.
The Vic Bolt released and make your rolls.
17 to hit.
That misses, unfortunately.
Hit will move 20 feet to his right diagonally.
Ah. Almost dropped you on the ass.
And as he is moving, he calls out, "That thing is hard to hit."
Right, I forgot about the battle map. Battle map's up in the Discord too, guys. So, with that, your Vic Bolt misses its target. It sort of goes wide, or even through a hole in the wings. The wings, now that you've got this thing as close to you guys, you can see it has some skin and things attached to it, but it's patches. There's whole big holes and patches of dead skin, and it's just bony. It looks hideous. It is a very nasty looking beast. Sadiq, you're up, and your amulet is glowing because it is undead.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
And it's evil, so it's doing the whole double glow thing.
Okay, so now that adds even more damage to it. Thanks. Okay, attack.
So you're going to roll into melee attack with it?
Correct.
Boot past Nomaris there. Into base-to-base combat.
$22 to hit.
That does hit. Roll your damage, good sir.
Uh, 17, 89, 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. How much of that is radiant damage?
12, 15 points.
Okay, so done. So you strike out with heavenly, heavenly executioner. That's right. Strike out with your heavenly executioner sword, and you strike across the hind leg of this creature, and you strike out with radiant damage and slashing damage, and it takes some reasonable damage. It sort of, you hear it moves, it sort of turns to look at you to see where this damage came from, sort of leans down and looks at you. Sort of those glowing arcane eyes. You can tell this thing, just by looking at it, it's been animated. It's not living.
Alright, another attack, which would be dirty 20.
That also hits.
Alright, and damage. Alright, so we got 4 points of slashing and 10 points of radiant.
So what was your total points of damage?
Actually, wait a minute. The slashing would be 6 points of damage.
6 points of slashing?
And of slashing, yep. And the radiant is 10.
16 points total, 10 points of radiant. Again, you strike out and strike the creature, and you strike true. It again recoils with the damage, but it's a pretty hardy creature, even though it's undead and is mainly bones and old entrails, and it doesn't smell very nice. You guys get a distinct smell of the grave. With that, I must make another quick roll. Is that your turn?
Correct. All done.
Bash is up next. Bash sort of looks at you, Fiala, looks at Neymaris, raises his axe and sort of says, wait, we're not killing this one then?
Kill the dragon, not the girl.
You sure? Because we were all like beating on this one before, and now we're not. I'm confused.
Let's just go for the dragon.
Shit. All right then. And he turns and goes into flanking on the dragon, which will grant him initiative on his attack, advantage on his attack. He is raging also, so he gets a natural 18 on his first roll. That's a 27 on the first roll, a natural 20 on the second roll, Natural 20. So that will be with bash. It'll be 10 plus 9 is 19. 21 points of slashing damage for bash as he strikes down with his battle axe onto the Draco thing. Like 21 points of slashing damage. His second attack, he rolls a natural 17. That's 26 to hit, so that hits the second one. Second one's damage is 17 points of slashing damage as Bash wails in with his battle axe on this thing, roaring bestially as he does so, raging. The dragon now turns and knocks everybody over. You face you, both you and Bash, Sadiq. Right, so with that, that is Bash's turn. We're back to the top of the initiative order. Inari, it is your turn.
Right, I will target the lich. Is it a lich? It's a lich, isn't it?
Well, if you probably wouldn't know. Actually, no, you probably would know. It's a Draco Lich. No one else,
Okay.
no one else but Sadiq and maybe Het would know what it is, but it's just an undead dragon to everyone else.
Right, using sharpshooter, gold, I'm going to attack it twice. 2 arrows.
Roger, roll to hit.
First one is a 17 to hit.
That misses. Your arrow goes wide as you fire it.
Oh, second one is a 25 to hit.
That hits. You strike true with your second arrow, missing with the first, steadying your aim with the second, and striking just above the shoulder.
Does the hail of thorns that I didn't miss, that I missed with earlier?
How long does it last for?
It lasts. The next time you hit a creature with a ranged weapon, attack before the spelling. No, it doesn't. Never mind.
No, so it's just standard damage then.
Right. So. That
Thank you for
is-
that, Yanti. Appreciate it.
Oh, I was just about to do that. Watching before, so 1d8. So it's 22 damage.
22 points of piercing damage. Brian, take 5 minutes to think about what you did, buddy. If you really, when your 5 minutes is up, when you want to come back, awesome. Quit the spamming, otherwise the next one will be a ban. So what was the damage, sorry, again, Nutty? 17?
22.
22? 22 points of piercing damage as your second arrow strikes the creature. With that, are you going to move? Or you have got a bonus action you can still use?
My bonus action. No, I will leave that for now. I'll
Okay.
just stay where I am.
Fiala, you're up, and Alessandros, you're on board after that.
Yep.
Like to move into line of sight and roll to hit with forked lightning.
Fork lightning. Fork. Sorry.
Probably misses with a 10.
It does miss with a 10, unfortunately. So your fork misses. Your Fiala raises her staff and calls on the powers of nature, and your lightning does strike true, but it strikes through the legs of the creature and strikes a tree behind it, setting it on fire. So now the tree directly behind this creature is now ablaze with fire.
I'm causing a distraction.
Anything else you would like to do?
I'm gonna stop there.
So with that, Alessandros, you're up.
So it's half action to get up in that,
Half your movement to get up.
and I can pretty much make it to the undead dragon.
Yeah, you can get into melee from there.
All right, we'll do that.
You'd have to scoot through the
Drawing my
bushes
sword.
there, but... There you go.
Saying command word on my flame tongue.
Cool, I'll allow that. So your flaming sword, your flaming rapier ignites. Make your attack.
Nat 20.
Natural 20, natural critical. Another critical hit there, guys. We so maximize your damage. So max weapon damage, then roll whatever it is. So it'll be for you on your rapier. Flame tongue rapier. So it'll be 8 plus whatever you roll.
Uh, 6 plus 8.
The 6 plus 8 is 14, so it'll be plus the 2, so it's 16, and then your 2d6 fire damage as well. 16 so far.
4.
16 and 4 is 20, so 20 points of damage.
And would that have been a sneak attack as well?
Yes, so you add your sneak attack damage also, because you got 2 companions within damage of this.
Wow. 4.
Oh no. Hey, damage is damage. So 4 further points of yeah, I see text for both of your guys. Everyone else is working, so the D, why is it not working for you guys? It's weird. Interesting. It'll be a Twitch thing.
Second attack.
Second attack, go for it. This is your offhand.
23 to hit.
That hits.
11 damage.
Nice. Max dice. $11 points of damage as you strike out with your offhand rapier, continuing your battle with this undead beast. Next up is the undead beast's turn. And with this, the dragon is looking around and decides that now would be a good time to release its breath weapon. The dragon, you hear it sucking air in through all of its bony orifices. His air sort of sucks in from everywhere. I need everyone, and I need Sadiq, and Maris, and Fiala. Bash will miss this just to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Nat 1.
Critical fail for Fiala. What is Nemaris's roll? Or do you want me to roll it on? What was it, sorry?
Dex save 15.
At the moment, just so you are aware, you have you do not have advantage like you normally would.
Oh crap. Okay.
So you'll have to take the lower because you're currently wearing
12.
heavy armor, so you don't get the advantage that you normally would.
Yeah. 12.
So 12. So that is a failure for you and Sadiq.
17.
That is also a failure. So you all fail the dex saving throw on this breath weapon as the dragon inhales, releases its breath weapon. A beam of lightning shoots forth 90 feet, straight line, dealing 66 points of damage to all three of you. So you will all take 66 points of lightning damage. Neymaris, that will be 90 points of damage for you because you are wearing plate armor. If that reduces you to 0 hit points, you will then drop to unconsciousness. Sadiq, what armor are you wearing?
I'm wearing scale.
You will also take 90 points of lightning damage through wearing metal armor. Are you sure? 90 points? Wait, no, you had 84. So Neymaris is unconscious.
So critical doesn't affect me then? I'm good?
No, you no.
Just regular?
You just take the 66 because you're not wearing metal armor. If you're wearing metal armor, it would you would take extra damage. So you watch, Fiala, as your companion, who has just recently been restored, takes a massive amount of damage and now is lying unconscious before you. And
hang on, Neymaris.
with that, the Drake is going to... I haven't got my flight bases yet, so I'm just going to let you guys know the Drake is now, with that, decided to take flight and is now hovering 60 feet in the air. So melee attackers, you can no longer melee attack the Drake. It is hovering 60 feet, beating its wings 60 feet above you. With that, it is now Neymaris' turn. So Neymaris, a death saving throw. Actually, I'm making a death saving throw for you, not you. I just remembered. That has been noted.
I was just about to say, I think it's you that does the death save throws on these things, isn't it?
Yup. That throw has been made and noted.
Right, boys.
So next up is Hit. Sadiq, you're on after that.
Hit, seeing the carnage that has just appeared, pulls forth his lute, holding up the symbol of the Steel Lady. He channels divinity through her, saying, "Steel Lady, help us in our time of need." And he casts Arcane Abjuration, or basically turn undead, on this creature.
Ooh.
And he calls out just after he does it, and he says, "No one hit it! Otherwise it will come straight back. I am turning this away, hopefully." And it needs to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Rolled a 5.
He failed. It is a 14 it would need, so
Yeah,
it
so
must
wisdom
now spend
7.
its... Yeah, that's good. I was hoping good. I was hoping for that last time, but luckily I found out I couldn't use the flask anyway. Nonetheless, it must now use, for 1 minute, it must turn away from us, spend its turns moving away from, well, from me mostly. It cannot take reactions. It can only dash, dodge, and move away from us.
Okay.
Until someone hits it, so that's why I called out, don't hit it.
Okay, so as the spell completes, you see the dragon sort of shake its head and then start to turn away from you. It's hovering 60 feet in the air, so it's starting to turn and face the other way. Anything else yet?
Yep, turn undead's not a spell, it's just an action, but I would use my bonus action to cast a heal on... who's down at the minute?
Neymaris is down.
And
You've heard Fiala cry out that Neymaris is Neymaris is back. Fiala's taken some pretty serious damage. You've watched this line of lightning strike. For as far as you're aware, strike Sadiq and Fiala. Whether you care about Neymaris' point or not is up to you. But both Sadiq and Fiala have taken some pretty serious lightning damage at this point.
But no one else is unconscious except for Neymaris?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bonus action hit uses.
Or actually, Fiala, are you down as well, or are you good?
No, I just thought Sadiq was down because I
Oh,
was looking at the overlay.
Okay. He's apparently Sadiq is very close to being down.
Oh yeah, he has his comeback as an orc. One hit point. I forgot.
I remembered that. Yeah. Well done. So yes, so Sadiq is looking pretty rough. Fiala's not looking too good either.
Hit will use healing word at. Oh my god! At first level on Namaris, just to bring it back. He is going to throw that now. It is not looking good. Okay, Namaris gets 3 hit points back.
Namaris, you sputter back to consciousness, still prone. But you receive 3 hit points.
Hit will move 15 feet to the end of sort of the pathway there, and then that will be it for hit.
Thanks, Hat.
Well, you won't be able to speak to him at this point, it's too far away.
Like Het said, no hitting that thing. We need to regroup.
Sadiq, you're up with Bash on board after.
I'm going to take a healing potion, which I've already put in. So.
Yep,
And
so
then
bonus action healing
Good
potion.
idea, Het.
You can move away. It cannot take any actions against you. Shut up, Het. It's
Yeah.
not your turn.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move past Het and say, Het, you stay away from the team, closer to it.
Good plan.
So that's all you're going to do is just move away? You're not going to attack it?
Nah, I'm just gonna move away.
Okay, so Bash's turn. Bash also sort of turns and looks. He goes, "You sure it's not going to attack me if I run away, Mr. Het?"
Pretty positive.
All right then. I'll let's regroup. And are we going to kill this thing, or are we running away, or what? I mean, I'm all for running away. I don't want to die. I mean, I'm pretty buff, but. Bash also retreats.
I think we're gonna tactical retreat.
Yeah, Bash also retreats back towards Het. With that, we're back to the top of the initiative order with Anari. Anari, what are you doing?
I think I'm listening to wrong character.
Wrong person.
I'm listening to Hit, and I'm going to retreat also.
You going to retreat back to them, or are you going to stay where you are position-wise?
No, I'll retreat back to them. Which, I'm not that far from them position-wise.
No, so I've moved you back to them.
Oh, I was just about to...
Next up, Fiala.
I'm gonna cast
Thank
Cure
you, Nutty.
Wounds on Namaris.
What level?
4th,
4th level. Roger that.
which is a 22, dirty.
So 22 points for Nutty and healing. For Namaris,
And-
sorry.
Yes, and she gets 22 heals.
So
Thanks.
22 points of healing for you, Namaris.
And I'm gonna move two squares back, I guess.
Done. Next up, Alessandros. You are directly beneath the Drake, who is now turning away from Het as you speak.
Move into the corner of the wall.
Inside or outside?
And invisible. I'll stealth it.
You're going to roll to hide. Bonus action hide. So roll your stealth.
19.
As far as you know, you are hidden. So next up is the dragon, who must turn to flee, and it's going to move its full 80 feet of flight the opposite direction. It will disappear from your sight as it travels that direction 80 feet. You, those with dark vision probably can just see it 80 feet in the distance. Next up is another dice roll. Nope. Neymaris, your turn. You are prone, you are exhausted, but you are now able to move, and you have hit points.
Alright, I'm gonna get up if I can and have a look and see where everybody is. And
Get up off your feet. You see that everyone's sort of retreating back. You sort of turn and look around. You can just see the dragon off in the distance. Everyone is moving away. The sword and the shield and your helmet are still at your feet.
oh, do I want to pick those up though?
You need, if you choose not to, you'll need to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I'll need to pick those up then. I'll pick up my sword and shield, and I will look at the
And
group.
your helmet, you'll have to pick up your helmet as well.
Right, yep. Okay, I'll do all that. And then I'll look at the group and kind of half smile tiredly because I'm really, really exhausted, and just slowly meander over to them.
And indeed, the rest of you watch as a very sheepish looking Neymaris
They're very
approaches
sad looking Neymaris.
approaches you guys, tear-stained cheeks. Her dirty face has streaks down the cheeks where she's obviously been crying. You don't know what that means, but that is essentially what you see at this point. Next up is Het. This is your turn, sir.
Het will move 20 feet forward of the group. Actually, his full distance 30 feet. And he raises his lute in the air and one arm in the air and says, "By the steel lady beast, be gone. You shall not pass by the lions of Valand."
And what are we doing?
It's basically just trying to make him carry on moving away from the team. He leans back and then says, "Okay, guys, this is your chance to get healed up and make a battle plan. We have like a minute until he gets out of control of this."
So
Alright,
with
plans.
that, Het, you see a flash of light in the distance behind, or where in the direction of this drake, and you can't see it anymore. It seems to have disappeared from your view. Roll
With my extreme
a
vision, I saw that pretty well.
yeah, roll a perception check for me, just to see if you saw what actually happened.
I rolled a 6. I see well, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the flash was definitely arcane in nature, and it was definitely around the dragon, or the dragon form itself, or somewhere in the vicinity of the dragon, but you're not 100% sure what's exactly happened.
I always roll crap perception. It's my favorite.
And with that, Sadiq, it is your turn.
Just gonna take a knee and have another health potion.
You can do that, not a problem. You're not going to say anything? I'll give this guy, you guys can have a vocal round if you wish for this, since there's not really much combat happening.
I'm gonna hug Neymaris really tight.
Bash sort of sits there, standing there, axe in hand, looking at Neymaris, sort of wondering what the hell's going on. He looks over at you, Het, and he says, Mr. Het, can you still see that dragon? Are we still fighting or what? I mean, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know who this lady is, but Miss Fiala's giving her a hug. I assume you guys know each other, but I'm a little confused.
Well, he just stuffed his mouth full of food.
I'm sorry to disturb your meal there, Het, but I mean, obviously you're a bit hurt. You must have been hurting to stuff your face full of food there. But you know what I mean. We need to form a plan. If that thing's coming back, I think we can take it.
Well, you see, Bash, you feel quite welcome to stay here and take it on, but I don't think any of the rest of us are in any condition. That person right there, Namaris, her name is, she is on our side, but keep your eyes on her, because I'm sorry, Namaris, but I do not trust you at this point. You changed at a whim, and now you've changed back at a whim. We need to, no offense, but team, we need to keep a good eye on her. I think I've got this dragon thing at bay for now, but we need to get out of here. Maybe retreat back to the village and get some rest, because I am running low on magical energies.
And I need a really good bath.
Is that thing gonna follow us back to the village, though? Is what I'm worried about.
I don't know. I think it is gone for now. It is hard to tell, but
Let's go back
I
to
can
the village.
I can steer it away again and again, but
We can. I don't think it'll follow us if it don't know where we are. I mean, it's. I mean, I can't even see it anymore. It's way off in the darkness over there. I mean, if we can't see it, chances are it can't see us. I mean, I don't know much about dragons, but if we retreat, I mean, if we retreat through bushes now and do it quickly and quietly, then I think we'll be all right.
We should stop talking and head back to the village. Run, you fools, run!
And with that, does everyone agree with
Het
Het?
begins running.
And do we make a beeline for the village, which is probably about 40 minutes away at this point?
Inari raises her eyebrow and looks at the cart. Is the cart still sitting there?
It is. This
I
single
say-
old horse.
That we throw everybody in the cart and we go.
Excellent idea.
Good plan.
So, do you all jump into the cart as best you can? 2 people up the
Yeah.
front, the rest in the back. With an extra body, it's a bit of a squeeze, but you do indeed pile on to the cart. Who is helming the cart? Who is taking charge of the horses?
I'll do that if you like.
Animal handling check, please.
Get the right sheet.
Het will just run beside the cart because he is too big.
19.
19.
19 from
You're going to run
Inari.
beside it, Het?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, you G up the horse, and it's an old horse. It doesn't move quickly at a trot pace, but it's definitely a little bit faster than walking pace. Het, you generally roll a Constitution save for me just to see how well you keep up, because it's
That is a
faster than a
dirty
run.
20.
You're pretty good. You're in. I mean, you're a dragonborn, so you're in pretty good shape. So you're able to actually keep up with the horse pretty well, as the horse sort of surges out at a trot, which is not super slow, but not really fast. So you're able to keep up reasonably well. Takes you about 25 minutes to half an hour to make that 40-minute journey back to the village. You reach the village edge. I mean, it's not a walled village. It's not a major city, so doesn't have major defenses. I will get everyone to make a perception check for me before we finish up the show.
$23.
7.
9.
7 for Inari. And 10 for Namaris.
4. I win.
So with an overall average, as you get to the edge of the village, you sort of stop, listen, and look for any sign of this dragon entity, and all you hear is the breeze through the trees, the night noises, the night animals, the occasional owl off in the distance, and you do not think you're being pursued by this being. You can safely say you can assume that you're out of combat at this point, and that is where we will end tonight's session. Bang on 10:30. So with that, Jad, we will come back to our main scene over here. Welcome back.
Oh, that was dicey slicey.
That was a little dicey. Well done, Inari, on your bow shot. I was a little concerned.
Amazing roll there. So
I was a little concerned at that roll, and a little concerned at your D6 roll. that could have gone. It was a 50-50. So you did well.
Especially as I rolled 2 14s. I was like, uh-oh. So pleased I didn't use sharpshooter.
So, team, you have regained control over your friend Namaris.
So we
obviously,
That's what they think.
obviously, conversations need to be had. But Namaris has seemingly returned to much her former self at this point. And that is where we'll end tonight's show. And we'll pick up here next week with rest, conversation, and we will see what happens with the Neymar situation.
Maybe you have to kill one of your characters off so she can't play too.
I've got it all planned out. That's all.
Oh yes, I can definitely talk to myself if I need to, you know.
Dun dun dun.
Dun.
But yeah, so that is it for us, guys. Thank you for the chat.
Oh, I'll mute for a second so it's not coming through echoey.
Yeah, thanks, Nutty. Thank you. Nutty's not been in Discord. She's on Discord on the phone. She's got a very sore jawbone at the moment and can't wear headphones, so that's why she's been using a phone. So hence why we had a little bit of echo with the microphone. But I would like to thank everyone in the chat for hanging out with us again for episode 36 of my homebrew campaign. Thank you again for the players. You guys rock as usual. We've had another awesome evening. Again, apologies for missing a week, but we'll get back on track. Just a few quick shout outs in the chat. Followers tonight, Sir Elderon, Kayla Frost, Paro7777, Bryant, ATGK, who got banned for being a douche nugget, and Midnight Caster. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate them very, very much. You can catch the VOD for this show and all previous shows on my YouTube, which has just been posted. But if one of the mods would like to post that link again, it would be awesome. Thank you very much. We're also running every Thursday morning, New Zealand time, 11 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time, running the Curse of Strahd campaign. We've just started. We've just done episode 1 last week, so session 2 is this coming Thursday. And this coming Friday as well, I'm reiterating an old show I used to do back on Mixer with my good friend Mr. Malice, who is also here on Twitch. We are reintroducing and reinstituting the Baal talk show that we used to do a long time ago, which is basically talking about all things alternative, horror, heavy metal, goth culture, gaming, D&D. It's a bit of everything. So it's just about, if you're a weirdo, if you're a nerd, if you're not what considered the norm, come and hang out, come and chat with us. It's going to be a 90-minute show. It's going to also be a podcast. I'll be issuing links in the Discord for the podcast where that'll be available after the first show, and so that'll be kind of cool. I'm loving this chat. It's awesome. Sir Elderon is Dark Eldy, I believe. But yeah, so guys, so definitely come and hang out with us for that. Come and see us next Sunday for episode 37. Also too, just like I said to you guys, the dice roller for D&D Beyond is an alpha. If you are a subscriber, you have access to that. It is very cool and it works very, very well. I have used it for all Bash's rolls tonight, and for all of the extra rolls, I've been using the dice roller on the left-hand side of the character sheet, which is really freaking cool. So, we should probably raid someone, shouldn't we? The Lost Chapters on tonight? They are. So they would have probably just started. They're up to session 15 on their Curse of Strahd campaign. We are in negotiations with them at the moment for possibly doing a collaboration between the two channels. At this stage, we're thinking of doing a collaborated one-shot. So keep an eye on the Discord for details about that. I'm in discussions with the Lost Chapters Prote, which is the DM, about that sort of thing, what we're going to do with that. We're also potentially got a one-shot coming up with Orbasm, aka Het, running from the DM chair. Again, with all the stuff that's been happening with lockdown and work and all that sort of stuff, that's sort of been put on hold for a little bit, but once things get back to normal, I'll sit down, Baz and I'll sit down, we'll work out, try and figure out a time of day and get everything organised so that we can do that. So watch the Discord for that as well, guys. So we're going to raid these guys once again. Give me a second, I've got to type this stuff out. And I'm a slow typer.
XP.
XP. Oh, you want some XP? Oh, no, we don't want any XP. You don't want XP, do you?
We didn't kill anything. We didn't get nothing.
Well, there is that.
Oh, yeah, we didn't kill anything.
You didn't kill anything, so technically there is no XP. But what I will do is give. I'm going to give
the work. The others ran away.
I'm going to give a bonus XP for roleplay and for the combat in itself anyway, because you guys did it. It was an excellent game. You guys all got DM's inspiration for the whole show, because it was pretty cool. And because I feel guilty about missing a show, so you're going to get 1,000 XP each for
13,000 would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, you're not going to have that much. Nice try.
Well, Sean, she does it to you too, man.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking minus 10,000 XP for Inari and that. I mean, sounds fair. I could take XP away too, you know. But chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to raid the Lost Chapters. So 1,000 XP for you guys tonight for the roleplay and obviously for missing a show. So we'll pick up that next week. YouTube. The video should be up tomorrow night. If not, it'll be mid Tuesday at the absolute latest. Keep an eye on that. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that garbage. Hit the bell so you get notifications when new videos go up. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Some of you will be here on Thursday for the Thursday show. Some of you are here for Friday's talk show. But if not, I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.